Look at that guy. That's a gnome. Let me get his brother. Here he is. Two gnomes looking at you. Oh my gosh. So these are wooden gnomes. I did not make the gnomes, but I painted the faces on the gnomes. And the story is that there's a guy at my church. His name is Ron Nealis. I kind of like the way that looks. And he carves these. He cuts them out of wood, and then he sells them at the craft show at the church to raise money for the church. I'm not really sure what program he donates the money to, but I think the craft show is in October. The art auction that I'm painting for is in November, but this is for a craft show, so he does these crafty things. Now these are small. He also gave me some that are like 3 feet tall, and those are elves. I guess there's a big difference between an elf and a gnome. Well, the elves don't have beards, so maybe that's the thing. But anyway, so here's the two guys. Now today, in this video, I'm going to show you how I did this one. How I painted him using acrylic paint on the wood. Now Ron painted the clothing. Ron painted everything else, and so I don't touch those things. I just touch the face. I just do the faces. And what else can I tell you about it? Nothing really. So let's just show you how I did it. Okay, guys? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it right now. Who's in there? Who's in that camera? I don't know. What do you see? I don't see anybody. I just see Poppa. Poppa painted a face on me. Yes, he did. All right, let me show you how I did that right now. Okay, this is going to be a fun one and a different one. So this is a piece of wood that a woodworker at my church made. And the one thing he wanted me to do was to put a face on this. This is a gnome, and what he will do is he will sell these. I have more than one to do, but I want to show you how I do this one. So he will sell these in October, I think it is. They have a men's craft sale, so it's all men, and they're the craft guys, the guys who know how to do crafts. So his talent, his skill is in woodworking and wood cutting and carving. So he makes elves, but he's not happy with the faces that he paints on them. So you might be able to see that he had a face, but he painted over it, and that's a beard. So he asked me if I would do what I do and put a face on there. So first, I think, even though he didn't cut out any ears right here, it looks like I could make an ear here. Looks like I could make an ear right here, right over his hat. I'm going to start with his ear. I'm going to give him a nice plump cheek. There we go. So some of this will be the beard, you see. So the beard will come up along the side. So that's going to be like the cheeks of our little elf. I mean, our gnome. This is a gnome, not an elf. I don't want to offend anybody, but that's what this is. All right, so yeah, his hair will go up to there, and I'll just kind of try to imagine this. Maybe the ear is a little bit bigger than that. Yeah, make the ears a little bit bigger than that. There we go. It goes up to his hat. So there's the rim of his hat. There's his ear. There's his beard. And there's his cheek. Alright. Now right there, I'm going to put a nose. So a nose, especially for a cartoon, just go ahead and start with a circle. So reach the bottom of the circle. And I'll put a little area over there where you might be able to detect nostrils. And I'll give him a very classical mustache and just have it come up there. Can you see what I'm doing? And then, so I am obviously drawing with pencil. And let's give him a nice big old mustache that just kind of wraps around. Just kind of goes all the way around there. Make him a happy guy. And should I give him teeth? I'm not sure about giving him teeth. Maybe a big smile. You know, I'll kind of do like the typical Santa Claus mouth, you know, where you don't see much of it. You just see enough of it to know that he's smiling. There we go. The mustache is really what gives him the smile. Alright, now let's give him some unusually large eyes. This is a cartoon-ish approach to this. I don't want to make this look like a real person. I want this to be fun. I want this so that when children see it sitting in the front yard of somebody's house, they just fall in love with it, you know. Just some little guy who's just bringing them joy. Alright, so now I want his cheeks to be big and he's smiling. I'm going to give him big old eyes, bigger than normal, you know. I think I'm going to put eyeglasses on this one too. I say this one because I'm doing more than one. Here we go. Little round cheeks there, and let's put that eye right there. Make it even with the other one, of course. There we go. There we go. There we go. And this beard is going to come down a little bit farther than he has it. We're going to make that beard come all the way down here. Alright, so now let's make sure his eyes are a little bit lifted on the bottom so that he's got that appearance of a smile. Let's give him eyelids. Don't forget those eyelids. And then big ol' eyes. Eyeballs, I mean, big ol' eyeballs. Here we go. Now, shall I give him eyeglasses? Let me put some eyeglasses on here and see if I like the idea. Yeah, it's okay. Come over to his ear. And then come down his nose and over on his cheek. And then up again on the other side. Okay. There we go. There's the frame of some eyeglasses, right? The frame. I'd be a terrible one to design actual frames that people actually want to wear. I would never make something people want to wear. I don't know how they do that. That's an art right there, an unrecognized art, because you don't know who the artist is that designed those frames. I'm guessing. Maybe sometimes the name is on there. I don't know. But anyway, so there's kind of what I have in mind. Hopefully he looks happy. Alright, so I have the paint already laid out here. Very little paint because it's a very small picture. And I'm just going to start with some white and a little bit of red to kind of make a a pink. I'm going to go ahead and use the water as a thinner. I think that's the best way to handle this. Maybe add a little bit of orange to that. Let's just get started. I'm probably going to just paint over those eyeglasses and come back to them. Hopefully I don't forget what I did. A little bit redder maybe. Maybe very pink. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and paint over those eyeglasses. Let's add some orange to that. I'm not going to worry too much about that pencil. I probably should have used a fixative to hold it in place. It's going to be lifting with the white paint, with the paint on it, but I'm not that worried about it. There we go. There's a good beginning. I know it's weird that it's not even June and we're doing stuff for Christmas, but that's, especially if you're like a woodworker and you have all these things you want to make for the sale in October, you really have to think ahead. And a lot of craft people will tell you this, that you have to think ahead and plan everything out. It's a little bit too on the red side. A little bit too red. It's alright, I'll work it out. What works will stay, what doesn't work will go away. Hey, that's a good thing to say. That's like a little rhyme. What works will stay, what doesn't work will go away. That's true in everything, right? That's even true with your workforce. If you have employed people, if they work, and they'll stay. If they don't work, they go away. Yeah, absolutely. That's the way the boss thinks. That's the way the boss should think. Alright, just get all this on here. I might use some... Oh, I forgot he had ears too. I almost forgot his ears. I might want to use some... some of the drying gel so that it doesn't dry so quickly. Alright, let's get some more color on here. I think it needs some orange in everything. I think there needs to be more orange added to this. Make it look normal. Normal, whatever that means. Whatever normal is. So how you guys doing? I feel like the week is going fast. It's already Thursday. Way fast. Oh my God. So many things. It's amazing how many things in your lifetime have to get done. Places to go. You gotta drive places. Driving takes time. Driving is like a waste of time, but you have to do it. You're not gonna get anywhere if you don't go there, right? Oh, it is another good one. You're not gonna get anywhere if you don't go there. It's a crazy one. It's an obvious one, right? You're not going to get anywhere if you don't go there. That sounds like a Yogi Berra kind of a thing. Yogi Berra. Let's see. Let me get some of that. So this is what... Oh, that's not it. Okay. This is what I'm talking about here. This slow gel. It slows down the drying process. So I'll use some of that. Put some of that on there. Keep it from drying too quickly. I want to be able to manipulate it so I can blend it. Once I get those areas done, I'll be able to move it around. There we go. Just slow down the drying process. It doesn't take much. Let me see if I can use some of this blue. Okay, not yet. I don't want to do that yet. I don't want to mess it up too bad. Okay, there's his nose. So I'm going to paint over the skin, the complexion. There we go. Just smoothing it out. Let's see what happens if I add some orange right there. Just to darken it a little bit. Use some more red. Same thing over here. With his ear. The bottom of his nose. Use some of that, a little bit of that blue-gray right there. We're getting there. Try to get this almost like a dark pink or a purplish hue. Whoops, a little bit of darkness right there I didn't expect. That's what happens sometimes. The brush has paint on it. You just got to work with it. A little bit of a shadow there from his hat. There we go. It's starting to look like it. Alright, now let's get some more of that white in there and lighten up a lot of this area here. There you go. Maybe I will not worry about those glasses yet. Blending it. You could probably use the same design on anything. Doesn't have to be on a piece of wood. I'm going to add some burnt sienna, I think. A little bit of burnt sienna, maybe. Burnt sienna has just enough red in it to perhaps help out with the shadows here. Yeah, I think that helps. that too. Clean the brush, get all that color off of there. Now I just want to use the white, just the white, and work it in there now. Give it a little pink going on there. Let's get that white now going in there. There we go. Should I get some of this facial hair in here now? get this beard all the way to the bottom. I'm going to use a little bit of blue-gray to create shadows on the white beard, but I'll get the white on there first. He's got hair coming out of here, and he's got hair up here too, his eyebrows. He's a hairy gnome. All gnomes are hairy, aren't they? Isn't that the trademark of a gnome? A lot of hair. So if I don't like it exactly the way I want it, then I'll come back and do it some more. So I want this beard to go all the way down to his belt buckle. It's somewhat of a manicured beard because of the wood being cut that way. Let's put some weight right there. Same over here. Some blue now to that, to get some of that. The shadows under the mustache. There we go. Look at that. Kind of blend it with the white. Same with his eyebrows up here. Alright, let's kind of evaluate it now. I'm going to clean this brush and use a different brush, a smaller brush. Get some of those eye things in there. I'm going to use this blue. I think I'm going to use the blue for his eye. It's kind of a blue-gray. I'm still not sure if I want to put eyeglasses on him or not. He's coming to life. He's coming to life. Alright, let me get some of this Payne's gray here. Come on, where is it? Don't let me get dried on me already. I think it did sort of dried on me already. Come on. It sort of dried on me. Dig into it a little bit. Bit here. Here we go. On him. Let me clean this brush and then you get all that Payne's gray off of that brush. How long have I been doing this so far? 40 minutes. Yeah, this takes a while. Get some white. Put a nice white reflection right there in his eye. And another one right there. Yeah, it looks good. And then let's put some white reflections on his nose. It's almost hard to tell. Oops, that's too much paint. Get some white there. What do you think? Should I put eyeglasses on, or is that going to ruin it? I think the lower part of his hat should have a shadow on it too. Let me deal with that later. Alright, here we go. I'm going to go for the eyeglasses. Let me just start simple. I can always make them bigger later. I think what I like about the idea of eyeglasses is the glass itself can have a reflection in it. Let me get that slow dry stuff and put some of that on there. Mix it in there with that Payne's gray. Let's see if that helps. It's a good medium, actually. I hope. I hope I did the right thing. Come around here to this part of his nose. So one thing I learned from doing children's books is that if you include all the children, then the children love the book. I mean, they have to love the story first, but I mean, as far as the illustrations go, what I mean by that is, like, if you forget different races, or if you forget children with glasses, or if you forget children with braces, or children in wheelchairs, I think that all the children relate to all of the characters wonderfully. They're so open-minded and so ready to understand the world around them, and they're so sharp at recognizing whether illustrations look like the world that they live in, you know. And so they all have friends who are different races. They all have friends who are wearing braces or I didn't mean to take that rhyme, but it did rhyme. But you know what I mean? They all have friends, and they all are. Some of them have paralysis. It's a fact, you know, and so that's what they live with, and that's what they like to see in the children's books. I wonder if, because I know a lot of people are, not that I agree with it, but a lot of people are using AI to illustrate their books now. So I'm a little bit worried about the profession of illustrating. But I wonder if the AI is considering those things, that there are children who... But I guess, isn't AI like dictated to by the person who's doing it? I don't know. I am not knowledgeable to talk about it, to be honest with you. But just from the looks of it, it looks like there's an easy way for publishers to get books illustrated. A little bit of a reflection in the glass there. I don't know. I'll let you guys talk about it in the comments if you want to. I did that one thing, you know, where I asked AI to write something for me. I got some bad comments from it. Not negative toward me, really, just negative toward the AI idea. And yes, I can write. I just thought it would be a fun experiment. And Robin is a writer, so I could have just gone to Robin, which I did, actually, afterwards. I haven't read that one yet, but she's a really good writer. There we go. I don't know. What do you think about that? These glasses? You like that? Or would you like it better without the glasses? There's a little of this dark here. Oops. That's a fun face. I'm going to get a different green. Let's see if I can do some with this. With the rim of his hat. Might work. Let's see what color is that. Yeah, a little bit of a shadow on his hat. See, I wasn't asked to paint the rest of it, only the face. So even by painting this hat, I'm kind of overstepping what I was asked to do, but I just think it would look a little better if I had a little bit of a shadow there. And all this is just like an olive green, just adding to the green that Ron put there. Ron is the gentleman who painted this, who cut it out and painted it. You know, he's a woodworker. He's a traveler too. Him and his wife go everywhere. Let's see. use a little bit of yellow there. Just a touch of yellow, I think, will help to brighten up that hat right there. And they just blend into this darker green. And then let's go back to the good old Payne's gray to get some of this darker area here. So the proceeds that come from these sales of these things goes to the same church that I do the other paintings for. Everybody's got their own craft. There are people who make jewelry, and their stuff is amazing. There are people who sell records, like CDs. They're singers and they make music, and so they offer their CDs and their, well, I guess that's it. That's all it is CDs. Unless they're making vinyl, I don't know. But it's kind of a really cool thing. They all work together to help raise money for the kids, and there's also a ministry, I guess you call it, where they raise money for Christmas gifts for kids who have parents who are incarcerated. I know that sounds sad, but that's what they do. The children who have no parents living at home, they're being raised by their grandmother or by an aunt or something. And then the church gets together and buys gifts. They go out into the community and they ask, what do you think the child would like for Christmas? And they'll put a wish list together, and then they will make money from these things, this kind of stuff, like this gnome and the paintings I do. And they will buy gifts, and then sometime before Christmas they invite the aunt or the grandmother, whoever's raising them, to come on over and pick up the gift. And it's a big party. They have cake and they have music, and it's a fun thing. It's a sad thing too. I always feel sad about that. There we go. I guess that's good. What do you think of our gnome? Huh. And one thing I could do, here I am thinking about something else. I think, let me try what I'm thinking about. I was thinking about putting a little shadow right there for the glasses. See how it just goes up there? I don't know, does that work? I think that one looks a little weird right there. Let me put some white back on there. Yeah, that looks okay. Looks like a shadow, I guess. All right, well, there's our guy. So there's the gnome. I don't know what you think, but that's it. All right, well, that was fun. Oh, let me show you the other one I did before I wrap it up. Let me show you the two of them. That's the one I just did, and this is the one I did yesterday. So there's the two gnomes. This one looks younger, maybe. I don't know. All right, I'll talk to you later. See you later. Bye.